I'm back with my trusty hooter. Right, welcome everyone for the fourth and sadly final Knowledge Fair being hosted by RSU. Yeah, boo, indeed. You might have noticed this year we've amended the frame of the event slightly. So in previous years, very much focused on squirrels, giving a voice to community groups. This year we've broadened it out slightly into invasive species more generally, and we've got some really great speakers lined up. So I really hope that everybody enjoys the 2 days that we've got coming ahead of us.
Well, to put it simply, our group wouldn't exist without the fact that we came on board. I came on board onto the project just 2 years ago. I was midway through the project, and it was through Ulster Wildlife, who are one of the partners in the whole project, just in that umbrella group. And it was through people like John Francis and Shanna. I actually came on board as a red squirrel monitoring survey person, and then as soon as they realised the set of skills I brought to the thing, they then said, why don't you try and set a group up, some sort of a group in your community, which is how the Heart of Down Red Squirrels group came into existence. But without that initial help and direction from Red Squirrels United, Ulster Wildlife, and in particular John Francis and Shanna, the group wouldn't exist as such. It's there as part of a much bigger picture. So if you take a professional photographer taking a really high quality picture, we're one tiny little pixel in that whole picture. So Red Squirrel United are the whole picture, but we're just that tiny little bit. But everybody needs those tiny little bits to make the overall picture work.
It's been invaluable for us, really. We're a small new group that started really only in the last 12 months. And without that support and that encouragement from Red Squirrels United and Ulster Wildlife as well, we wouldn't be anywhere. The encouragement that we received and just that advice, for someone like me who's not from a conservation background, I don't have any ecological background, anything like that. I'm just someone who really loves red squirrels. To have that information there and that support, as I say, we would be nowhere. We would just be still watching red squirrels in the garden and not knowing anything about how we could help protect them and support them.
So the Wildlife Trust is a key signatory to the UK Squirrel Accord, which is a large partnership whose aims include securing and expanding red squirrel populations in the UK. And I think the Wildlife Trust Red Squirrels United project has made a significant positive impact to red squirrel conservation in England, Wales and Northern Ireland, halting the decline of the species in project areas, but also seeing an increase in numbers and distribution in some of those project areas. The success of the Red Squirrels United Knowledge Fair is just one example of how Red Squirrels United have achieved increased engagement across the community, improved public awareness, knowledge sharing, collaboration, bringing together practitioners, academics, volunteer groups, organisations, partnerships. And as the cost-benefit analysis shows, for every £1 spent or invested through Red Squirrels United, it's resulted in £4.53 of benefits, which are ecological benefits, they're tourism increasing in terms of job creation, and the thousands of volunteer hours that have been dedicated to the project and to red squirrel conservation. Because the vast majority of red squirrel conservation is carried out by those volunteers, and the project and things like the Knowledge Fair have really helped to support those volunteers, to offer thanks to the volunteers and to celebrate all of those wonderful hours that they've dedicated. So the support, the energy input, the coordination that Red Squirrels United has provided has really galvanised and invigorated that volunteer action and helped to ensure that red squirrels still have a future in the UK.
Well, I think it's made an enormous difference. It's been an incredible success. We've had a real impact in terms of stabilising and enhancing the red squirrel population in the 4 project areas of Red Squirrels United. So that's number one. The project has done a brilliant job of bringing together volunteers, local groups, and sharing information. And the best example of that are the knowledge fairs, which we've had 4, I think, over the last few years, and they've been a tremendous success, and have brought people together from all around the country, all around Europe, and to discuss the issues that they're concerned about, which is red squirrels and improving the prospects for red squirrels, and that's been a real bonus. And has received almost unanimous good feedback. It's been really, really well received, so we are going to really miss those. So the knowledge fairs have been absolutely fantastic. I think the sharing of science and the research and the curiosity that the project has shown about how we make progress in red squirrel conservation has been absolutely outstanding, and will leave a long legacy for those that follow.
Oh, hugely. This is the first national conservation project of its type, and it's galvanised support for red squirrels in Northern Ireland, Wales, England, Scotland. It's put networks of groups together who probably would never have been able to get that sort of dynamic synergy, and understand the lessons that they've been learning from each other, shared experiences and perspectives. You can't beat that. In terms of on the ground, massive difference. I mean, sustaining red squirrel populations on islands, in cities, in the countryside, remote places. I can't think of a project in the UK that's done anything like this. I mean, there have been previous projects, but they've been smaller scale. So for this, a huge success. I mean, the EU will rightly be very pleased with this, same as the Heritage Lottery Fund. And the legacy it leaves is huge. I mean, not just for red squirrels, but for invasive species management. I mean, there's loads of stuff, best practice that can be taken forward from this.